I'm Molly Herford here with the Arborist Groundworker Training Program, and we are talking all about health and nutrition. We're going to start with hydration because that's such an important topic, especially when it comes to when you're out all day and it's particularly hot outside. All right, so hydration. Here's the thing. It's very tempting to just drink coffee all day, every day, maybe an iced coffee in the summer. I know, I've been there, I feel that. But unfortunately, while caffeine really gets us going in the morning, it's going to be dehydrating for us all throughout the day. So while we can absolutely still have our cup or two of coffee in the morning, we really want to be drinking regular water in addition to our thermos full of coffee. So we always want to have water on us all day, every day. A lot of climbers will have that carabiner with a big bottle attached to their belts, or they'll have a pack on that they can actually drink right out of. But whatever is the most comfortable for you. The point is to just have water on you all the time so you're not going for a couple hours without drinking and then having to sprint back to your truck, chug a liter of water, and then get back to work. The problem with that is it's really just going to make you pee. It's not actually going to hydrate you super well. So our goal is to be sipping just constantly throughout the day, thinking about 16 to 20 ounces an hour, just depending on how hot it is and how much you're sweating. But that's really just a pint glass or a small water bottle. Thinking about that every hour. If it's really hot out, we want to add a pinch of sea salt, maybe a little bit of juice, apple juice, grape juice, something that'll just give us a little bit of electrolytes. We don't really need a sports drink, but we do want to make sure that we're getting that sodium so that we can actually absorb the water that we're drinking. Otherwise, again, we're just peeing it out. So, basics of hydration. Caffeine's okay in moderation, but we don't want to overdo it. We want to be sipping all day, more when it's hot out, add a little bit of electrolyte. And of course, we need to make sure that we're eating enough as well throughout the day. So we're going to talk all about nutrition next. Okay, so our goal here is, like I said, sustained energy. That means we really want to avoid those blood sugar spikes and crashes. If you are someone who does any kind of endurance sport, you know all about bonking. That's when our blood sugar kind of plummets. We start getting hungry, we start getting dizzy, faint, maybe grumpy with our coworkers. We want to avoid that. So our goal here is to just keep nice and steady throughout the day. And we do that by eating really well-rounded meals. So let's start with just talking about our breakfast. So our big goal here is to not have just a hit of carbohydrates in the morning. And by that, I mean, we want to go beyond the bowl of cereal, go beyond the English muffin, definitely go beyond the donut. So I love a good donut, but the energy we get from the donut is that sugar high. We spike up, our blood sugar goes really high, especially if we've added a coffee to it. And then unfortunately, just as quickly, it crashes. So in about 30 minutes to an hour after we have that, we're suddenly hungry again. We're getting a little grumpy. So we want to make sure that we're really rounding it out with our fats and proteins. So we have the carbohydrate. So let's use cereal as an example. If we have our carbohydrate cereal, we want to make sure that we're adding a protein and a fat. So that could mean putting whole milk with our cereal. It could also mean adding some nuts to it. Maybe we even add some berries to add some fiber, let us feel a little fuller for longer. So we're really just thinking about adding on to the stuff that we're already eating. Doesn't have to be complicated. I always say a peanut butter and jelly sandwich is probably one of the easiest things to make that will keep your energy sustained for a long time, especially if you add in whole wheat bread, so we're getting a little bit of extra fiber. But just the peanut butter and jelly alone, super simple. It'll get you out the door, and nice budget meal. You can have it for breakfast, have it for lunch, heck, have it for dinner. But it's going to be a really good option. Then throughout the day, if you're someone who gets hungry really easily, we want to have accessible snacks. So this could mean having a couple of granola bars stashed in your truck. I'm a big fan of having trail mix, so having some mixed nuts, some dried fruit, whatever you like. Again, just making sure that we have something that's not just carbohydrates. The last thing you want to be doing is, again, digging into the donuts, digging into the candy bar, relying on coffee to get us through to the next thing. But that protein, that fat, that's what's going to keep us just nice and stable throughout the day. Then lunch, maybe you're not going to have a lot of time for lunch. In that case, the peanut butter and jelly is going to be your best friend. or any kind of sandwich really, as long as we have, a lunch meat that has some protein, even a cheese sandwich, something like that, that's going to be really easy. If you do have time and you stop, something like a rice bowl with eggs or chili or, some kind of meat or bean situation, that's going to be great for kind of giving you that same sustained energy that's going to get us through the afternoon. Again, we just really want to avoid those quick carbohydrates that are going to make us very hungry again very quickly. Our goal is to end our day not getting home from work feeling like if we don't eat an entire pizza, we're going to just, pass out from hunger. So we want to get home feeling like we could eat dinner, but not like we're ravenously hungry. So when we get home, dinner, again, here's our great chance to get those quality carbohydrates, quality protein, and let's add some vegetables to that too. Vegetables aren't necessarily going to make us climb any faster, but they are going to give us the nutrients we need to get through, the longer span of time here. They're what's going to keep us healthy in the long run, going to keep us regular on a day-to-day, which is always good for when we're working. So definitely just make sure you have that protein. That can be steak, that can be fish, that can be whatever meat or protein you want. Carbohydrate, that can be your potatoes, your rice, your bread. And then let's get some veggies on that plate, whether it's, frozen broccoli or a side salad, whatever works for you. If you're still hungry at night, think about that protein. Again, that's probably what you're missing in your day. So a yogurt with some berries and granola is a great way to sort of end your day on a high note rather than going into the ice cream. But if you do go for the ice cream, you know what? You're moving around all day. So really, we're not worried about skipping calories. We're worried about just making sure you're getting the most nutrient-dense foods possible throughout the day. And that's what's going to keep you happy and healthy for a nice long career here. Okay, so this is not our traditional dressing for success. We don't need a three-piece suit, but we do need the right fabrics to keep us warm or cool and dry while we're outside all day. So the first thing to remember is just that it doesn't have to be super expensive to dress properly for the job. You're going to hear suggestions of fancy materials that you need or expensive brands that people like, but there are inexpensive options available, and it just takes a little bit of layering and a little bit of looking at labels to figure out what's going to work for you. So our big thing is thermal regulation, which basically just means in the summer, we want to stay as cool as possible. In the winter, we want to stay as warm as possible. And because of that, layering is our best friend, especially when we're starting work outside when, it's still dark out, so it's going to be cooler. And then 4 hours later, you might be sweating bullets. So we're thinking about those layers instead of just one heavy coat over a t-shirt, especially when we're in those transitional seasons. So if you're getting ready in the morning, think about how hot it could be later in the day. Always worth looking at the weather forecast and seeing, okay, it could be 30 degrees, even though when I'm getting ready for work, it's only 15. So we want to think about being ready for the 30, but dressed for the 15. And we want to start with our base layer. So that's just whatever is the closest to your body. Now, a lot of people have just cotton stuff. The t-shirt I'm wearing right now is cotton, for example. But if you're going to be sweating, and this could be in the winter too, if you're moving a lot during the day and you have a lot of layers on, that bottom layer could get pretty sweaty. Cotton isn't going to be the best fabric for that because it's just going to get very wet. So you're going to get very cold, very uncomfortable. So we want to look for something that's either polyester or merino wool. Again, there are a lot of inexpensive options available, tons of different ones. Just check the label. You can usually just pull it out. It's the tag behind you, or just look on the tag on the clothes at the store. But looking for polyester or merino wool when it's right on your body. Over that, you can put cotton. So you can put a cotton sweatshirt over a polyester base layer. That's going to be great. That's where it's going to keep you warm. You just don't want it touching your body if you're going to be sweating. So just think about those layers that can keep you comfortable and that are going to be easy to remove. So especially with jackets, with hoodies, if you know you're going to be wearing eye protection and you have a hat on and you have to have a hard hat depending, you probably want sweatshirts that zip, jackets that zip, rather than ones that are going to need to be pulled off, because otherwise you're going to waste a lot of time taking stuff off and putting it back on. And the last thing to remember is this is an outdoor job, so sunscreen all year round, on your face, on your hands, on whatever is exposed. Even in the winter, you can absolutely still get sunburn in the winter, so please just wear your sunscreen. All right, hopefully that helps you stay warm or cool, depending on the temperature out. Good luck out there.